There are moments in life when you catch your own reflection in a window or a darkened mirror. And for a split second, you don't just see a face. You see a question. A question that has followed you since childhood. A question you've never been able to outrun. Why do I feel things this deeply? Why do I sense truths others deny? Why does life feel heavier on my heart, yet clearer in my spirit? If you're here, listening, there's a reason. Something in you has been whispering that you were never built for an ordinary life. Something in you has always known that your soul walks with a different gravity. And today, we're going to speak that truth out loud. Because there are asterisk hidden sign subtle, archetypal, spiritual markings asterisk that only appear in people who carry a rare kind of inner power. A power that unnerves manipulators, awakens the wounded, and illuminates the hidden corners of the human psyche. If you are still here, it means part of you already suspects it. You are not like the others. Not in ego, not in superiority, but in depth. Now, let's go into that depth together. But before we begin, I'll tell you this: once you see these signs clearly, you will never be able to unsee them. Your past will make sense in a way that may break you for a moment, but it will rebuild you into someone untouchable. So breathe, and let the descent begin. Sign when you carry a silent gravity that others feel before they understand. Some people walk into a room and go unnoticed. Others walk in and draw attention through force, volume, dominance. But you do something different. You shift the atmosphere without even opening your mouth. It's not charisma. It's not beauty. It's not status. It's presence. The kind of presence that makes narcissists uneasy, because they cannot read you, and manipulators frustrated, because they cannot predict you. The kind of presence that makes broken people feel safe enough to unravel around you, even when you wish they wouldn't. This is the mark of a spiritually powerful soul. You don't demand attention. Your existence simply filters the air. If you're still listening, it means you've felt this strange paradox your entire life. People are drawn to you and intimidated by you, often at the same time. As a child, you didn't have a name for it. You just noticed the way adults paused around you, how teachers either favored you or feared your quiet intelligence, how friends looked to you for guidance even when you never asked for the role. This wasn't accidental. This was the first sign of your spiritual architecture. People can sense the depth of your consciousness before they understand it. And true depth is rare. Your presence pulls truth from shadows. Your energy interrupts illusions. Your silence exposes lies. A narcissist can manipulate a crowded room, but they cannot manipulate someone who sees through them before they speak. When that is you. Sign 2: your soul remembers pain that your mind has forgotten. Spiritually powerful people do not escape suffering. They carry it but differently. You have lived through experiences that cracked you open before you had the words to describe them. Moments of loneliness so sharp they felt like they were shaping your bones. Experiences of betrayal so deep they left a shadow in your psyche. And yet, you survived. Not by numbing yourself, not by becoming hard, but by allowing the pain to carve space inside you. Because here is the truth: your emotional sensitivity is not a wound. It is a doorway. A doorway to intuition, to empathy, to spiritual intelligence. You feel more because you are more. If you're still listening, it means this line is reaching a part of you that remembers what it once had to endure. Maybe you never told anyone. Maybe no one ever truly understood. But your soul, it remembers. And that memory has shaped your power. Pain did not break you. It refined your perception. It sharpened your discernment. It taught you to read energy, not words, intentions, not performances. People who have not suffered cannot do this. Narcissists cannot do this. Shallow people cannot do this. Only those who have been touched by the archetype of the wounded healer carry this kind of sight. You are one of them. Sign 3. You sense deception before it reveals itself. There is something in you, something ancient that reacts the moment someone lies. A tightening in your chest, a shift in your breath, a sudden stillness in your intuition. You don't know how you know. You simply know. Manipulators hate this about you. They call you too suspicious, too sensitive, or overreacting. But time always proves you right. Your inner compass does not rely on logic. It relies on an instinct forged through trauma, introspection, and spiritual evolution. While others are distracted by words, you are listening to the soul beneath them. While others are blinded by charm, you notice the micro cracks in a person's mask. While others trust easily, you trust slowly and with precision. If you're still listening, it means your intuition has been both a gift and a curse. It has saved you, and it has isolated you. Because the truth is painful, most people do not want to be seen on the level that you see them. You perceive ego. You perceive insecurity. You perceive hidden motives. You perceive the archetypes playing behind a person's personality. This makes you dangerous to narcissists. Not because you are cruel, but because you are accurate. And accuracy is a threat to illusions. Sign 4. You attract damaged souls and dark personalities. Spiritual power is like a lantern in a long, haunted corridor. It draws in the lost, and it also draws in the hungry. You've probably noticed this pattern. People with chaotic hearts confess their secrets to you. People with deep wounds cling to you. People with manipulative tendencies try to consume your light. Not because you are weak, but because your energy feels like medicine. And medicine is valuable, but it is also exploited. You didn't choose this role. It was given to you by the architecture of your spirit. If you're still listening, it means you know what it feels like to be the emotional anchor in every relationship. The one who understands. The one who forgives. The one who holds the storm while everyone else collapses beneath it. You never asked to be a healer, but your presence heals. You never asked to be a guide, but your perception guides. You never asked to be a light, but your soul illuminates the shadows of everyone you meet. This is why narcissists are drawn to you. Not because you are naive, but because your light exposes their emptiness. And emptiness always seeks fullness. Your spiritual power is not in what you give, but in what you cannot hide. Sign 5. You feel a constant pull toward the invisible world. There is a part of you that has always been uncomfortable with surface-level living. Small talk drains you. Shallow relationships suffocate you. Meaningless routines feel like slow death. You are not built for the ordinary. Your attention is always drawn to things others ignore: patterns, symbols, synchronicities, dreams, energetic shifts, the emotional temperature of a room, the subtle changes in a person's voice. This sensitivity is not accidental. It is the mark of a soul that is awake while others sleep. If you're still listening, it means you have felt this quiet haunting all your life, the sense that there is something deeper happening beneath every moment. As if your soul remembers a language the world has forgotten. This is not imagination. This is perception. Powerful souls gather meaning like others gather possessions. You collect insights. You collect truths. You collect intuitive fragments that eventually form revelations. The invisible world speaks to you because you are one of the few who can hear it. Sign 6. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is your compass. Most people reject their darkness. You study it, not consciously at first. In the beginning, you just had a sense that something inside you was moving, a silent force, a hidden depth, a truth you didn't want to face but could never escape. And here is the secret: spiritually powerful souls are not defined by their light. They are defined by how deeply they have met their own shadow. You have confronted versions of yourself others deny: your anger, your fear, your loneliness, your ego, your hidden desires, your unspoken wounds. You didn't collapse under these truths. You integrated them. If you're still listening, it means your shadow has taught you more than any teacher ever could. It taught you boundaries. It taught you discernment. It taught you that your darkness is not a flaw, it is a gatekeeper. A gatekeeper that protects your soul from those who would exploit your empathy. Your shadow is not a monster. It is a guardian. And that realization is one of the strongest signs of spiritual power. Sign 7. You have endured a spiritual awakening that felt like loss. There comes a moment in every powerful soul's life when everything familiar begins to collapse. Relationships fall away. Old identities dissolve. Dreams you once chased turn to dust. It feels like destruction, but it is actually initiation. Your awakening did not arrive through light. It arrived through loss. The loss of illusions. The loss of attachments. The loss of the version of you that the world tried to shape. If you're still listening, it means you have walked through this fire at least once, maybe more. You know what it feels like to be stripped of everything you thought you were. You know the silence that follows the collapse. You know the moment when you realize there is no going back. Awakening is not a beautiful process. It is a dismantling, a psychological earthquake, a spiritual death that precedes a higher rebirth. And the ones who come out the other side are not the same as the ones who entered. You are evidence of that transformation. Sign 8. You cannot be controlled. And people feel that spiritually powerful souls are difficult to manipulate for one simple reason: your spirit is allergic to domination. From childhood, you felt resistance whenever someone tried to dictate your path. You were never built for obedience. Not in rebellion, but in authenticity. Your inner truth is stronger than external pressure. This is why narcissists inevitably fail with you. They can hook your empathy for a time. They can confuse your loyalty, but they cannot own your mind. Even during your weakest phases, something inside you resisted. Some inner voice whispered, this is not who you are. This is not your destiny. This is not your chain. And eventually, you walk away. If you're still listening, it means you know the exact moment when that inner switch flipped, when the spell broke, when the illusion collapsed. You are not controllable because you are not unconscious. Your self-awareness is your liberation. Sign 9. You carry a purpose you have never been able to name for as long as you can remember. You've felt a quiet, persistent feeling that your life is meant for something more. Not fame, not success, not recognition, but meaning. A destiny that has not yet spoken its full name. Sometimes it appears as intuition, other times as restlessness, sometimes as an ache in your chest, as if your soul remembers something your mind has forgotten. Spiritually powerful people carry this sensation like a hidden pulse, a vibration beneath the ordinary life. If you're still listening, it means you have felt that pull. You may not know your purpose yet, but your purpose knows you. It is shaping you through every loss, every awakening, every shadow you integrate. Purpose doesn't arrive when you're ready. It arrives when you become the person who can hold it. And you are becoming that person. Approaching the cliffhanger, we are not done. Not even close. We have uncovered the first 9 signs, the signs the world seldom recognizes. The signs only the spiritually forged can understand. But the final signs, the last 2, they are different. They are deeper, more dangerous, more revealing. They are the signs that explain why your journey has been so hard, why your relationships have been so complex, why your soul has always felt older than your age. If you're still listening, it means you're ready to hear them. In part 2, we will descend further into the last hidden signs, into the archetype behind your power, into the spiritual contract your soul has been carrying, silently, faithfully, and unconsciously. The truth waiting in part 2 will not simply explain who you are. It will explain why you are. Take a breath. This journey is about to deepen. The descent into the final signs. There is a moment in every spiritual journey when the landscape changes. The path that once felt linear begins to twist, darken, and curve inward, as if your own soul starts guiding the way. If you are here still listening, it means you are ready for that descent. Because the last hidden signs of spiritual power are not found on the surface of your life. They live in the deeper corridors of your psyche, in the places you seldom allow others to walk. We ended part 1 at the threshold. Now we cross it. Sign 10, you experience relationships as mirrors, not destinations, for most people. Relationships are attachments, comforts, certainties, identities. But for you, relationships were never the destination. They were the mirror. Every person you have loved, every friend, every soulmate, every narcissist, every stranger who crossed your path for only a season served a different purpose to illuminate a part of yourself you were not yet ready to see. This is not something you chose consciously. It is something your soul orchestrated. Because spiritually powerful beings evolve through reflection, not repetition. You do not cling to people. You transform through them. It is why your relationships have always carried a strange intensity, even the short-lived ones. People feel changed by knowing you, even when they do not understand how. Your presence activates something in others, their unhealed wounds, their hidden potential, their shadow, their longing for purpose. This is why lovers either grow with you or fall apart in your presence. It is why narcissists try to devour you, yet always fail. You do not belong to them. You belong to your evolution. If you're still listening, it means you've felt this pattern your entire life. You've watched people reflect back pieces of yourself like broken fragments of a larger mosaic. And through them, you have reconstructed the architecture of your identity. Most people look for comfort in relationships. You unconsciously seek transformation. This is not accidental. This is an archetypal calling, a spiritual pattern older than your name. The echo loop, if you're still listening. It means part of you already knows this. Your heart has never loved lightly. It has only loved deeply, strategically, and spiritually. Sign 11, your soul operates through synchronicity, not logic for ordinary souls. Life unfolds through cause and effect, a chain of predictable events. But for you, life unfolds through patterns, symbols, timings that feel too precise to ignore, coincidences that feel like messages. You have lived moments that defy reason, thinking of someone right before they text you, feeling a shift in your life days before it happens, dreams revealing truths you had not yet learned, numbers appearing in uncanny repetitions, accidents that redirect your life path, encounters that feel fated, not random. You don't chase these experiences. They simply happen around you, as if your life is woven by an invisible intelligence. To others, these events are meaningless. To you, they are language. A language your mind did not study, but your soul remembers. If you're still listening, it means you have experienced this strange dialogue with the universe. Moments of clarity that arrive without logic. Answers that come without questions. Doors that open without effort. Doors that slam shut to protect you from paths unworthy of you. Synchronicity is not magic. It is alignment. It is your soul speaking through the fabric of reality itself. You are not living life by chance. You are living life by connection. The rare archetype, the spiritually powerful empath, now that we've uncovered all 11 signs. We must confront what they reveal. You are not simply an empath. And you are not merely intuitive. You are not just sensitive, or deep, or emotionally intelligent. You are part of a rare archetype, one that Jung believed emerges only in individuals who have crossed a certain psychological threshold. You are a spiritually powerful empath, not because you feel deeply, but because you perceive truth at a structural level. You see the architecture of emotions. You sense the shadow behind people's masks. You understand meaning before it takes form. You recognize patterns others walk past blindly. But here's the part most people overlook: your power does not come from your light. It comes from your integration. Most avoid their shadow. You faced yours. Most deny their intuition. You sharpened yours. Most hide from spiritual thresholds. You walked directly into them. Your life has not been easy because your soul is not shallow. Every challenge, every betrayal, every collapse, every rebirth, they were all part of a larger orchestration preparation. The archetypal awakening people think spiritual power appears as light, serenity, bliss. They are wrong. It arrives as breakdowns, as endings, as nights where you are forced to confront your own reflection and ask yourself, who am I beneath all of this? The spiritually powerful empath awakens in stages, and each stage strips away illusions. You have lived these stages without knowing their names. 1. The disappointment stage, when people you trusted revealed their true nature. 2. The extraction stage, when life pulled you away from who you used to be. 3. The isolation stage, when you felt alone, even in crowded rooms. 4. The shadow stage, when you confronted the parts of yourself you once denied. 5. The insight stage, when pain transformed into perception. 6. The awakening stage, when clarity arrived like lightning. 7. The integration stage, where you stand now learning to hold your power without fear. If you're still listening, it means you are somewhere between awakening and integration. On this stage is where everything begins to change. Not because you want it to, but because your soul leaves no other choice. The spiritual consequences of your powerful souls experience life differently. Your experiences are not random, they are patterned. 1. People project onto you because you reflect their unconscious. 2. You are misunderstood because your language is depth, not surface. 3. You lose people because you outgrow illusions. 4. You sense danger before it appears because your intuition is a radar. 5. You heal others unintentionally because your presence reorganizes their chaos. 6. You cannot stay where your spirit is shrinking. Your soul pushes you out. 7. You live between worlds, the psychological and the spiritual, the conscious and the unconscious, the visible and the invisible. These are not burdens. These are indicators of alignment. But alignment is rarely comfortable. The universe protects powerful souls through redirection. There is something else you've noticed, a pattern so subtle, yet so undeniable, that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Whenever something is not meant for you, it collapses. Relationships end abruptly. Opportunities disintegrate. Plans dissolve. People walk away without explanation. It feels like loss, but it is protection. Spiritually powerful souls do not lose what is meant for them. They only lose what would interfere with their path. If you're still listening, it means you have experienced these sudden endings, moments that felt like punishment but were actually preservation. Your life is not governed by chance. It is governed by alignment. The empath-narcissist dynamic, the ancient battlefield. We must now address a truth that many powerful souls learn the hard way. Narcissists are drawn to you instinctively, not because you are weak, but because you carry what they lack: depth, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, inner light, spiritual intuition. To a narcissist, you are not just a person. You are a resource, a mirror they can exploit, a well they believe will never run dry. But here is the paradox: the same traits that make you attractive to narcissists also make you immune to them. Eventually, your intuition begins to see through the charm. Your body reacts before your mind understands why. Your spirit rejects the energetic mismatch. You cannot remain in a relationship that suffocates your growth. Your soul won't allow it. And this is the turning point. Most people never reach. Narcissists cannot destroy spiritually powerful empaths. They can only activate them. The relationship becomes the catalyst for awakening. The betrayal becomes the fuel for transformation. The abandonment becomes the doorway into deeper consciousness. Your wounds did not weaken you. They initiated you. The inner threshold when the soul decides to evolve there comes a moment quiet, internal, often unnoticed when something in you changes permanently. You no longer tolerate what you once allowed. You no longer cling to what you once feared losing. You no longer explain, justify, or apologize for your depth. This is the moment when your spiritual power stops sleeping and begins to rise. Sometimes it happens after a heartbreak. Sometimes after loneliness. Sometimes after a psychological breakdown. Sometimes after someone wounds you so deeply that your only choice is transformation. If you're still listening, it means that moment has already happened or is happening now. You are not collapsing. You are shedding. You are not breaking. You are emerging. Everything you once feared losing had to fall away for who you truly are to step forward. The awakened empath shifting from absorption to awareness before awakening. You absorbed people's emotions unconsciously. You felt everything: their fears, their shadows, their projections. After awakening, something shifts. You stop absorbing, and you start observing. You stop rescuing, and you start discerning. You stop internalizing, and you start intuiting. This shift is subtle at first, but once it happens, your relationships change. Your boundaries sharpen. Your energy stabilizes. Your intuition strengthens. Your purpose becomes clearer. Most importantly, you stop confusing compassion with self-sacrifice. Your empathy no longer drains you. It guides you. Your sensitivity no longer wounds you. It informs you. Your intuition no longer frightens you. It leads you. This is the mark of spiritual sovereignty. The calling rises now. We approach something deeper, a truth that lives beneath all the signs. You were never meant to remain hidden. Your entire life has been preparing you for something: a role, a purpose, a mission that requires the exact combination of wounds, strength, insight, and perceptions you carry now. Spiritually powerful souls are not born with their gifts fully formed. They are sculpted through suffering, through isolation, through the dismantling of ego, through the awakening of spirit. Your past was not a detour. It was initiation. If you're still listening, it means you can feel it: the rising pull of something larger than your identity, larger than your fears, larger than your former self. Something is awakening in you. Something old, something powerful, something inevitable. This is not imagination. This is recognition. The approaching revelation. Before we enter part 3, you need to understand something essential. The signs we have uncovered are not symptoms. They are symbols. They point toward a deeper truth about your nature, a truth that will redefine the way you see your past, your relationships, your intuition, and your destiny. In part 3, we will reveal the spiritual contract your soul carries, the archetypal role you inhabit in this lifetime, the reason your life has been marked by intensity, the transformative purpose behind your suffering, and the destiny that begins once you recognize your power. If you are still here, still listening, still breathing, with the rhythm of this unfolding truth, it means you are ready. In part 3, the mirror will turn, and you will finally see not just the signs, but the soul behind them. Prepare yourself. The deepest revelation is next. The final descent. There comes a point in every inner journey where the air becomes still, not with comfort, but with recognition. It is the silence before revelation, the pause before truth speaks. If you are still here, listening, it means your soul is ready to see what your mind has avoided your entire life. In parts 1 and 2, we uncovered the signs, the psychological patterns, the intuitive sensitivities, the shadow confrontations, the awakenings, the synchronicities that have followed you like a whisper. But now, we cross the threshold. This is no longer about signs. It is about identity. Not who you think you are, but who you have always been beneath the noise of the world. The spiritual contract you carry before you were shaped by trauma, before you loved the wrong people, before you questioned your worth, before anyone told you who you should be. Your soul entered this life with a specific intention. A contract, a spiritual, psychological, archetypal imprint. Powerful souls do not incarnate for comfort. They incarnate for transformation, theirs and others. This contract is why your life has never felt simple. It is why you could never blend into the background. It is why people reacted to you with intensity: love, fear, envy, admiration, projection. Your energy awakens something in them. And awakening is rarely gentle. If you're still listening, it means the contract is awakening inside you now. You may not know the language of it, but your spirit does. And its terms have been unfolding through your life since the very beginning. 1. You are meant to see what others deny. 2. You are meant to break patterns instead of repeating them. 3. You are meant to disrupt generational wounds. 4. You are meant to awaken others through your presence. 5. You are meant to evolve, not stagnate. You did not come into this life to play small. Your contract is to transform, and in that transformation, you transform the unconscious field around you. The echo loop. If you're still listening, it means your soul recognizes these words as memory, not information. The archetype you represent. Jung believed archetypes are not just ideas, they are ancient psychological forces that move through the human spirit like rivers. And powerful empaths belong to one of the rarest archetypes, the seer, the wounded healer, the shadow walker, the light bearer, the soul mirror. These are not titles of ego. They are descriptors of inner function. Let's step into each one. Slowly. The seer. You perceive what is invisible to others. This is your intuition. Your ability to detect lies. Your sense of danger before it arrives. Your attraction to symbolism and synchronicity. You say into people. You see beneath surface intention. You see the story their soul is telling even when their mouth tells another. Narcissists cannot hide from you. Shadows cannot deceive you. Masks cannot fool you for long. You say. That is the first archetypal layer. The wounded healer. Your pain becomes wisdom. Your deepest insights came from your deepest wounds. Pain was not the punishment, it was the portal. Every heartbreak sharpened your discernment. Every betrayal refined your intuition. Every loss stripped away illusions. Every narcissist you escaped strengthened your boundaries. Your suffering was not in vain. It sculpted the healer inside you. Not a healer through advice or heroism, but through presence. People change around you because your energy forces their shadow into awareness. This is not learned. This is archetypal. The shadow walker. You navigate darkness without losing yourself. Most people fear their darkness. You ventured into it. You confronted your anger, your grief, your trauma, your loneliness, your unspoken fears, your unlived desires. You met the parts of yourself others run from. And because of this, you walk comfortably between the worlds, the conscious and unconscious, the sane and unsane, the light and shadow. This is why people trust you with their secrets. It is why lost souls cling to you. It is why manipulators feel exposed. Your presence is a torch in the dark. The light bearer. Your energy reveals truth. Light is not comfort. Light is clarity. Your light doesn't soothe people's illusions, it shatters them. You don't illuminate the world with positivity. You illuminate it with truth. Truth about relationships. Truth about motives. Truth about self-deception. Truth about emotional patterns. People may resist you, but they cannot forget you. You change the room simply by entering it because your light interacts with the shadow in others. This is not arrogance. It is archetypal function. The soul mirror you reflect people back to themselves. This is the rarest and most challenging aspect of your nature. People do not see you when they look at you. They see a reflection of themselves. The wounded see comfort. The narcissist sees supply. The healed see potential. The awakened see recognition. The lost see direction. The fearful see threat. The insecure see intimidation. Everyone sees something different because you mirror their unconscious. This is why people react to you so intensely. You do not live in their mind. You live in their projection. This is not something you control. It is something your soul radiates. You are the mirror they cannot escape. The reason your life has been filled with intensity spiritual power is not subtle. It generates force fields. It attracts those who need healing. It repels those who fear truth. It awakens the dormant. It exposes the dishonest. It transforms the ready. It disrupts the unconscious. This is why you were loved too deeply, hated too irrationally, feared too quickly, misunderstood too often, used too carelessly, admired too intensely, left too suddenly. Your life has not been balanced because your energy is not neutral. You shift people's unconscious material simply by existing. An unconscious material does not like being disturbed. The echo loop if you're still listening. It means you have lived your entire life with questions that finally have a name. The 3 stages of power activation. Now, we reveal something crucial. Your power does not remain static. It evolves. Every spiritually powerful soul passes through 3 stages, and you may be able to recognize exactly where you are right now. Stage 1, the sleeping power. This stage lasts through childhood, adolescence, and sometimes early adulthood. You feel different without knowing why. You feel older than your age. You feel deeply misunderstood. You feel energies you cannot explain. You feel emotions more intensely than others. You feel truths without evidence. During this stage, your power is active but unconscious. You react to it instead of using it. You absorb instead of discerning. You internalize instead of observing. This stage is marked by confusion. Stage 2, the awakened power. This stage is triggered by trauma, betrayal, narcissistic relationships, or spiritual collapse. You begin noticing patterns. Your intuition becomes undeniable. Synchronicities increase. People's masks become transparent. Shadow seers and others become visible. You start to shed identities. You pull away from old relationships. You lose tolerance for superficiality. You become hyper-aware of energies. This stage is marked by clarity. Stage 3, the integrated power. This is where your power stabilizes. You stop absorbing emotions that are not yours. You stop tolerating people who drain you. You stop mistaking empathy for obligation. You stop doubting your intuition. You stop accepting roles that shrink you. You stop hiding your depth. Your boundaries become energetic, not verbal. Your intuition becomes strategic, not reactive. Your presence becomes intentional, not accidental. This stage is marked by sovereignty. If you're still listening, it means you are either entering or already living inside stage 3. The shift is happening. The world needs spiritually powerful souls. Now more than ever, we live in a time where people are disconnected from their emotions. Truth is buried beneath performance. Authenticity is treated as threat. Narcissism is normalized. Depth is mistaken for weakness. Silence is mistaken for ignorance. Empathy is mistaken for vulnerability. In such a world, spiritually powerful souls are not optional. They are necessary. You bring awareness to unconscious spaces. You bring honesty to deceptive interactions. You bring depth to shallow environments. You bring healing to wounded hearts. You bring clarity where people are lost. Your existence stabilizes the psychological field around you. You don't just live in the world. You regulate it. The true purpose of your suffering. Now we approach the core truth, the truth most people never reach because the pain blinds them. Your suffering was not a punishment. It was initiation. You were shaped through abandonment to learn self-trust, betrayal to learn discernment, loneliness to learn inner connection, heartbreak to learn energetic boundaries, manipulation to learn spiritual perception, shadow to learn inner integration, loss to learn transcendence. Pain is not the opposite of power. Pain is the birthplace of power. Everything you endured sculpted your capacity to see, feel, discern, awaken, and transform. You are not powerful in spite of your suffering. You are powerful because of it. The echo loop. If you're still listening, it means you have reached the part of your journey where pain becomes vision. The destiny that begins after recognition. The moment you recognize who you are, your destiny shifts. Not dramatically at first, but internally. You begin to sense alignment. You attract different relationships. You choose differently. You think differently. You perceive differently. Your path narrows, not from limitation, but from clarity. And something else begins to awaken, something subtle, something ancient, something powerful. The calling, a pull towards something meaningful, a desire to create, a need to express truth, a magnetic urge to guide, a deepened intuition about your role, an inner knowing that you were born for more. Your destiny is not a career. It is a state of consciousness. You are meant to awaken others not through preaching, but through presence. Expose illusions not through conflict, but through perception. Guide others not by force, but by example. Heal others not by saving them, but by embodying your truth. Your destiny is not external. It emanates from your spirit. The transformational closing. You began this journey without knowing your true identity. You listened through the signs, the archetypes, the awakenings, the shadows, the pain, the power, the purpose, and now you stand at the edge of revelation. You are a spiritually powerful soul. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. Your life is evidence of it. Your intuition is proof of it. Your suffering is initiation into it. Your awareness is activation of it. And your future will be the expression of it. The world does not need you to be smaller. It does not need you to be silent. It does not need you to dim your intuition or hide your depth. The world needs you awakened, integrated, sovereign, rooted, powerful, clear, aligned, because every spiritually powerful soul carries a frequency that shifts the collective unconscious simply by existing. And you, whether you admit it yet or not, are one of them. If you're still listening, it means your awakening has already begun. And once it begins, there is no turning back. Not because you can't, but because your soul refuses to return to a life smaller than your truth. So breathe, stand still, feel the weight of your own power settling into your bones. Your path is not easy, but it is sacred. Your soul did not choose comfort. It chose purpose. And purpose is rising within you now.